Hello everyone and welcome back to another more low effort video. So right now I have the new test bench running with the GTX 580 amp from Zotac, so you can see those mods right there. That's the reference 580 that I modded, and well, I've modified it quite a bit. You can't really see it right now because of the fans, so let me get those. Oh, actually, that's a bad idea how I'm doing that right now. Let's get this one first. It's idling right now, so there's not that big of an issue that I'm taking away the fans right now. So, oops. Yeah, you can see the card changed a bit. I replaced the heatsink. I now have it on my water cooling loop. And you can see I cut the base plate here so that the VRM keeps its cooling, because it needs it. This thing gets incredibly hot, and I was thinking about, I don't know if you can see it really, there's some tiny things right here in the way. I thought about grinding these away and then just thermal taping some heat sinks onto this to make it work better, because it's just like a flat thing, because that's where the fan screws in normally. The memory has no cooling now, that's what the fan is for. And then all that is connected to my janky water loop, so the same old 240mm radiator, the same old very cheap fans, but no, they work. What's that size of the reservoir? I don't know, it's a DDC pump and like a pump rest combo from Overclocking. And yeah, so let's get the fans back. So one cooling the memory and the other one, oops. Okay, so what I wanted to show right here with this entire video is basically that even the worst of the worst cards can reach 1 GHz. This is by far the worst card that I have. I also forgot to mention the card is deleted. The IHS is no longer there, so the water block is straight onto the die. So yeah, this is my worst card by far. It has a better than 12.4% ASIC quality, which is just by far the lowest I have. So yeah, I kind of wanted to make this as a challenge, to have the worst card that I have and still do 1 GHz on it. And I've achieved that, somewhat. It's really on the edge, but it does run 1 GHz. Though I don't know if it would do that in stock configuration, because you can see all those capacitors there. I think it got like 20 MHz on the stock heatsink with those. So I don't know, maybe those were the reason why I got to 1 GHz now. But yeah. So let's get to the screen right here, and I'm gonna show you what settings I'm running. So I'm using the NVVDD tool. I've set 1.225 volts. That's actually like it's gonna complete a single Firestrike run, probably. It will not pass a stress test. And then, yeah, you can see here, 1 GHz. Don't pay attention to that voltage reading, it's wrong. That's the actual voltage reading. And yeah, so I'm gonna run Firestrike now. I hope it's not gonna crash. That would be quite not good. That crashes now. So yeah, I've did some test runs, and basically 1.2 volts flat does not run 1 GHz. 1.25 volts does, but 1.25 volts going into a 580 running 1 GHz is actually too hot again. Because basically as soon as this card reaches 40 degrees under load, it's gonna crash at that voltage. Like the voltage tolerance on this thing is so bad. Oh, and then also there's a lot of call warning. The voltage tolerance on this thing is so bad that 1.25 volts will actually not run even on water cooling. And you can see it's really cold. This is a 580 running 1 GHz and over 1.2 volts, and it's sitting at 35 degrees. This is gonna go up, of course. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna pass, right? Because I've actually haven't tested 1.225 volts, I've tested 1.25, but that kept crashing, and I didn't want that to happen on video, so I lowered the voltage a bit, hoping that it will still pass, and it kind of looks like it's gonna pass. Like, GT2 is not as core heavy as GT1, the only thing that could screw us over now is just heat. But yeah. Can you see can you hear the coil whining? I think you're only going to hear the fan, sadly. This thing has annoying coil whining. It's not really loud, but it's just annoying. Okay, you can see it's getting hotter now. Like, we have to keep this under 40 degrees. At least 40 is where it crashes at 1.25. But okay, like, this is physics test now. We really don't care about this one. It's an 1800X at stock speeds. It's not gonna be very impressive because we already know what it does. And then combined is hopefully not gonna crash. It usually doesn't crash. Like, I think I've had this crash once, and that was because of heat. So yeah, I guess this is gonna pass. And now watch it crash. When the camera's rolling, you never know. Weird things happen. It's actually still 37. Oh, well, the loop is probably heating up. Like, the radiator is slightly undersized for an overclocked 580. I think I would need something like a 280 or a 361, not a 240. Or just a 240 with very good fans, but yeah. The best 120mm fans I have are these. Like, I don't really have 120mm fans. So the score sucks because I haven't touched memory. Yeah, that's what we expect. So yeah, it does pass. Is there anything interesting here? Yeah, like our temperature is 38 max. That's a good temperature. But if I would start a stress test now and put this, like, if I do a fire strike stress test now and put this thing under constant load, then we will have a problem because yeah, it will crash. It's gonna get too hot. It's gonna reach 40 degrees, and at that point it's gonna lock up again. But yeah, so you've seen it yourself. This thing does run 1 gigahertz. And actually, like, if you don't want to believe me about the ASIC quality thing, I can show you. That's actually as garbage as I say. Advanced ASIC quality. Oh, it's better than 12.9, not 12.4. Okay, I slightly misrepresented it, but yeah. Better than 12.9% of GTX 580s. This is not a good score. Like, the second worst core per ASIC quality is the one on the green PCB one, and that's like better than 65% of 580s. So that's a pretty huge difference. So yeah, this is what it takes to hit 1 gigahertz on one of these. The caps are... I can't say if the caps on the back are necessary. I have tried running 13 megahertz on this, which is, I think there's a step in between, but like, this is not much. This is 13 megahertz more. This is literally 1.3%, if my math is correct, which it should be. Yeah, I'm an engineer, I don't do calculating in my head. At least I'm trying to become one. I'm not a full engineer yet. I'm studying. So, yeah, I can't tell if the caps are necessary. It's really on the edge of stability. It's really, really, really on the edge. Like, it passes one runner fire strike, but it won't pass the stress test. If I increase the clock just a bit, it will also not pass the normal fire strike anymore. And yeah, so it's really, really on the edge. It could be that those caps are necessary. But then again, on GTX 480s, which are pretty similar to this, like it's same architecture, pretty much the same PCB, 480s don't really care about core capacitance, at least not CAN types like these. So yeah, I remember this thing scaling about 20 megahertz on the reference heatsink, but that may as well have been, like, that could have been something else. It could have been ambient temperature change, though it's unlikely. It could have been just me not stress testing it enough before and then finding out, oh, it can actually do 20 megahertz more. Like, yeah. Can't say if these were the ones that brought me to 1 gigahertz in the end, but I can say that the majority of the work is done by the water cooling right here. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Well, I don't really know what it is. It's just basically me saying, hey, this is the worst card I've got. I got this in the 4-digit area. So, like, I mean, 1 gigahertz is not really that impressive for 500 series, but like it's kind of like reference cards can't usually hit, like 1 gigahertz is usually the number you can't really hit without doing advanced stuff. So yeah, this is me hitting 1 gigahertz on the worst card I have. And actually, I was thinking about this. At this, like, I really need an E-power. If we look over here, I still have this thing, the 460 SE, which has some cables attached to it and the whole VRM is missing. This thing needs an E-power because I destroyed the VRM. I thought it was defective, it wasn't, and then I just destroyed it too much to like do it again. This thing needs an E-power, and here's my rendering card. And this E-power that I made, I still haven't worked on this, it still doesn't really work, and I don't really feel like fixing it right now. So yeah, I've been thinking, this does not only have a bad core, it also has a really bad memory, and I was thinking, maybe this card is worth more in VRM than it is in the entire card. Also, considering I just got another reference 580 that has a really good core and Samsung memory, which is both better, because Samsung memory scales with voltage and the core is just better, straight up. So I may or may not end up doing some dev experiments with this one. So yeah, I might end up sacrificing this for science and an E-power board. But that's something for a later date. I'm really overdrawing the length of the video right now. So yeah, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and until we see each other next time. Goodbye.